Today we are going to discuss about the velocity. What is velocity? Velocity is the ratio of displacement of the object to the time interval. That means if a body moves in a straight path, what is displacement? This is the displacement. So displacement divided by time taken to move from here to here. Displacement divided by time interval. Time interval gives you the velocity. Or it is written as the time rate of change of position of an object in a particular direction. Time rate of change of position of an object in a particular direction is called velocity. Or velocity is the ratio of displacement and the corresponding time interval. The definition of velocity can be written in many ways. One way, the time rate of change of position of an object in a particular direction is called velocity, or velocity is the ratio of displacement and the corresponding time interval taken by the object. It is a vector quantity because it has both magnitude and direction. Velocity can have positive values, can have negative values or zero value depending on displacement positive, negative or zero. What is uniform velocity? Can you remember uniform speed? If a body covers equal distances in equal interval of time, then speed of the body is said to be uniform. Similarly, if a object covers equal displacement in equal interval of time, the velocity of the body is said to be uniform velocity. Now, variable velocity. What is called variable velocity? If a body covers different distances in equal interval of time, keeping direction fixed, then also velocity of the body is said to be variable. A body covers different distances in equal interval of time, keeping direction fixed. That means direction fixed, but speed of the body is different at different interval of time, then also body is said to move with variable velocity. There is another example of variable velocity. A body covers equal distances in equal interval of time, but direction of motion changes at every point. Then also velocity of the body is said to be variable. Body covers equal distances in equal interval of time, but direction of motion changes at every point. As for example, circular motion. When a body moves in a circular path at constant rate, the body covers equal distance in equal interval of time, but direction of motion changes at every point of the circular path. Since direction of motion changes, here velocity changes. So velocity is different. But speed constant. So therefore, we define variable velocity like this. An object is said to be moving with variable velocity if either its speed changes with time or direction of motion changes with time or both changes with time. A body is said to move with variable velocity if its speed changes with time or direction of motion changes with time or both the speed and direction changes with time. Speed changes means what? Body covers different distances in equal interval of time. And direction changes means circular path. Okay? So this is called variable velocity. There is another definition called instantaneous velocity. The velocity of an object the velocity of an object at a particular instant is called instantaneous velocity. Velocity of an object at a particular instant is called instantaneous velocity. Okay? So, what is its definition? It is equal to the limiting value of average velocity. It is the limiting value of average velocity when time interval is very, very small. It tends to 0. It is equal to the limiting value of average velocity of the object in a small time interval around that point, provided the time interval approaches to 0. Mathematically, it is written like this. Vi is equal to limit delta S by delta T when delta T tends to 0 is called ds by dt. So, instantaneous velocity is the limiting value of average velocity in a small time interval around that instant, provided the time interval approaches to 0. Mathematically, it is written like this. Vi is limit delta S by delta T when delta T tends to 0. Under this condition, the symbol is written as ds by dt. So, ds by dt বুলি ক'লে আমি কি বুঝো? ডিফারেন্সিয়াল কোফিসিয়েন্ট বুঝো। আমি ক্যালকুলাসত এটু পাম। The same expression is written in case of instantaneous speed also. In instantaneous speed, there is no arrowhead. That means instantaneous speed is a scalar quantity. Therefore, direction is not required. But instantaneous velocity is a vector quantity, so direction is required. Okay? Now, in the last class, we discussed about some diagrams. Can you remember? We draw the distance time graph for uniform motion. We draw the distance time graph for uniform motion. On that graph, we get a conclusion that the slope of the position time straight line or slope of distance time straight line gives us the average speed. ইফালে চোৱা, along the y-axis distance is written, along the x-axis time is written. So this is the distance time graph for uniform motion. The slope of that straight line or slope of that graph gives us the average speed. Therefore, average speed is equal to slope of the distance time straight line. So similarly, in velocity also, we can write the slope of the displacement time graph gives the velocity of the object. The slope of the displacement time graph gives us the average velocity of an object. In the speed, in the previous class, we have written that area under speed time graph gives us the distance traveled by the object. Can you remember it? The area under speed time graph gives us the distance traveled by the object. So similarly, here also we can write the area under velocity time graph. Area under velocity time graph gives us the displacement of the object. In the last class, we proved that area under speed time graph gives us distance travel. From that proof, we can write a statement. Here also, the area under velocity time graph gives us the displacement of the object. So in the speed time graph, we have written that the slope of the tangent at any point to the distance time graph gives us instantaneous speed. The slope of the tangent at any point to the distance time graph gives the instantaneous speed. Slope of the tangent at any point to the distance time graph gives us the instantaneous speed. Similarly, slope of the tangent at any point to the displacement time graph gives us the instantaneous velocity. Slope of the tangent at any point to the displacement time graph gives us the instantaneous velocity. Okay? Now we are going to discuss about numericals. Okay? The velocity time graph of an object. The velocity time graph of an object is as shown in figure. So this is the velocity time graph of an object. The velocity time graph of an object is as shown in figure. So from 0 to, this is the velocity axis and this is the time axis. This is velocity axis, this is time axis. Time is in second and velocity is in meter per second. 0 to 2 second, velocity increases up to 20 meter per second. Then 2 to 6 second, velocity remains constant. Then 6 to 8 second, velocity decreases to 0. Then 6 to 8 to 10 second, again velocity increases to 10 meter per second but in opposite direction. And then 10 to 12 second, again velocity decreases to 0. আমি লিখিছিলোঁ নহয়, velocity is a vector quantity. It can have positive values and negative values. From 0 to 8 second, velocity is positive, and from 8 to 12 second, velocity is negative. Now from this graph, we have to calculate distance and displacement travelled by the object. We have to calculate distance and displacement travelled by the object, and also the average speed and average velocity of the object. Average speed and average velocity of the object. We have to calculate distance and displacement of the object, moving object from this velocity time graph, and also average speed and average velocity of the object in time 0 to 12 seconds. What is the solution? Just before the class, we discussed that area under velocity time graph gives us the displacement covered by the object. Area under velocity time graph gives the displacement covered by the object. So therefore, what is displacement? What is displacement in time 0 to 12 seconds? The area under the velocity time graph. Okay? From here to here, from 0 to 8 seconds, it is a trapezium. What is area of trapezium? Area of trapezium is half into sum of two parallel sides. This is one parallel side and this is one parallel side. It is half of sum of two parallel sides multiplied by separation between them. That's why this is half. What is this? This is 8 minus 0. So 8 minus 0, and this is so from here to here for here look at the parallel side. It is 6 minus 2. So 6 minus 2 multiplied by 20. 20 means separation between them. So okay, and next what is this? It is a triangle. What is the area of triangle? Half into base into height. What is height? Height is 10. Height is 10. And what is the base? What is base? 12 minus 8. 12 minus 8. 12 minus 8 is 4. And height is 10. You just see, this is the height 10. This point is minus 10. From here to here, height is 10. Now since displacement is a vector quantity, it can have negative value. This area is positive displacement and this area is negative displacement. So what is net displacement? So this area minus this area. I mean this area minus this area gives you the net displacement in the time 0 to 12 seconds. Okay, 8 minus 0, 8. 6 minus 2, 4. 8 plus 4, 12. Okay, 12 into half into 20. Have you seen it? It is 20. Half into 12 into 20, it gives us 120. And what is area of the triangle? Area of the triangle is half of base. What is base? 12 minus 8. 12 minus 8 is 4. What is height? It is 10. So it is 20. So since displacement is vector quantity, the net displacement is this area minus this area. So if this area minus this area, we will get 120 minus 20 is 100 meter. So this is the net displacement covered by the object in time 0 to 12 seconds. But what is distance? Distance is a scalar quantity. It cannot have negative value. So therefore, in order to calculate the distance traveled by the object, we have to add this area plus this area. মই আকৌ কৈছোঁ ডিষ্টেঞ্চটো কি স্কেলাৰ কোৱান্টিটি নিগেটিভ ভেলু থাকিব নোৱাৰে সেইকাৰণে নেট ডিষ্টেঞ্চ ট্ৰেভেলড বাই দ্য অবজেক্ট ওলালে আমি কি কৰিম এইটো এৰিয়া প্লাছ এইটো এৰিয়া যোগ কৰিম বুজি পাইছা না ওৱান ডাইমেনশ্যনেল মোশ্যনত কি হয় ওৱান ডাইমেনশ্যনেল মোশ্যনত ডিষ্টেঞ্চ আৰু ডিছপ্লেচমেণ্ট একে থাকে যদি বডিটো কভাৰ ৰিটাৰ্ণ বেক নকৰে যদি বডিটো ৰিটাৰ্ণ বেক নকৰে আৰু ৰিটাৰ্ণ বেক কৰাৰ পিছত কি হয় ডিছপ্লেচমেণ্টটো কমি যায় আৰু ডিষ্টেঞ্চটো বাঢ়ি যায় কাৰণ ডিষ্টেঞ্চটো স্কেলাৰ কোৱান্টিটি ৰিটাৰ্ণ বেক কৰিলেও আমি প্লাছ কৰিব লাগে কিন্তু ডিছপ্লেচমেণ্টটো ভেক্টৰ কোৱান্টিটি ৰিটাৰ্ণ বেক কৰিলে আমি মাইনাছ কৰোঁ গতিকে এইটো এৰিয়া প্লাছ এইটো এৰিয়া কি আছিল এৰিয়া অফ ট্ৰিপেজিয়াম এইটোতো এইমাত্ৰ আমি কেলকুলেট কৰিছোঁ এইটো 120 আৰু ইয়াৰ এৰিয়া তোমাৰ কিমান আছিল ইয়াৰ এৰিয়া আছিল 20 সেইকাৰণে নেট ডিষ্টেঞ্চ ট্ৰেভেলড বাই দ্য অবজেক্ট নেট ডিষ্টেঞ্চ ট্ৰেভেলড বাই দ্য অবজেক্ট ইজ 120 প্লাছ 20 ইজ ইকুৱেল টু 140 মিটাৰ 140 মিটাৰ Therefore, what is velocity? Net displacement by time interval. What is net displacement? 100 meter. What is time interval? 12 seconds. So it is 8.33 meter per second. What is average speed? Distance traveled by time taken. What is distance traveled? 140 meter. Just now we calculate. What is time taken? 12. So 140 by 12 is 11.66. So if I round it up, 11.7 meter per second. 11.7 because it's 12 ones are 12, 20. Again 12 ones are 12, 80. 12 6 are 72. So again 80. So again 11.6. Okay. With this, I stop today's class.